everybody. Welcome to the May 2015 My Lead System Pro Member of the Month interview. My name is Patricia Sweeney, an L4 leader in MMT here at My Lead System Pro, and I am just super pumped today to say welcome and congratulations to this month's Member of the Month, Ms. Lisa Torres. So welcome to your interview, Lisa.
Thank you very much. I'm so excited to be here chatting with you and, just excited to share some value with you guys that are watching right now.
Yes, ma'am. Well, aside from the fact that I'm just super pumped that you're a lady, and it's been a few months since we've had a lady as our Member of the Month, I'm really just pumped that you're here as part of our community, because we have a lot of new people that find My Lead System Pro because they're looking for the solution to get leads, and they're just kind of getting started out online. And I know you've got some awesome nuggets to deliver here in a bit on what you think people should be doing in that situation, so stay tuned for that. But really, you've been a staple in the industry since 2007, and you being part of our community really just raises the bar across the board, and I'm excited to be working with you now in the community. I'm excited to get to know you, see all the cool and fun stuff that you know, because you've been doing this for a while, and I've only been at it for a couple of years, and I know that our other members feel the same way. So lots of value. Everybody's excited, which is, of course, why you're Member of the Month. Aside from that, you also, of course, build your MLM, which you are, I believe, the top 200 earner in that company. So you can tell us a little bit more about that. And then also, I was looking at some of your stats, and you had almost 700 leads in under 30 days. And you not only broke L1, but rank of L2 in under 30 days. And I know that you're like right there on L3, which, guys, this is a huge deal. So if you're a guest watching this interview, or you're a newer member and don't really know how impressive those numbers are, I can just tell you right now, it's a very big deal. And aside from that, being chosen as Member of the Month in this community is a really big honor, because we have thousands and thousands of people actively marketing the system. People who've been in the industry for a very long time, people who are brand new, but people who really get it done. And Mrs. Torres here really put her stamp on this whole entire community for the past month, and she made us all stand up and pay attention, which is why we had to have her out so she could give you some of her awesome knowledge. So tell us about yourself and what you're doing with MLSP here and how you see it fitting into your business, and take it away.
Yeah, well, let's see, where do I start? Well, I started online. I've been online, like Patricia said, since 2007. When I got laid off from my job, I was actually working in corporate America, sitting in a cubicle, taking orders, just really just hating life, hating my job. I was always in the network marketing business, or industry, I should say, since I was 19, but I failed for like 20-something years until, that day that I got laid off, and I made a decision when they called me into the HR department. I made a decision that day that I would never, ever work for anyone again. And at that time, the internet was starting. It was at its peak. Everybody was getting online. I didn't know anything about capture pages. I didn't know anything about autoresponders. I didn't know anything about anything, blogging or anything like that online. I didn't know about, what leads were online. I didn't know nothing. All the terminology that you hear thrown at you, especially the newbies that are just getting started, that, they're just like, what is this? What is that? I didn't know any of that stuff. So what I want you guys to realize is that every top earner, every successful person, no matter what industry really, they had to start from somewhere, right? If you look at a staircase and you're like at the bottom of the staircase and you're looking all the way at the top of the staircase, how can you get to the top of the staircase? You can't just jump all the way up there. You're going to fall as you try to make your way up. And so that was me. I fell so many times trying to get up through that staircase. But getting back to the day that I got laid off in 2007, that was the best day of my life, because the moment that I left that HR office, I already knew from that point on that I would never have a job again. I was no longer employable. And so that was a very exciting day for me, because, of all of the success stories I was seeing online, just the average people just making an income on the internet. I remember sitting in my cubicle and just, you know, finding different things to do online and what people are actually doing and the terminology of things. And I kept seeing these, what we know today as capture pages, lead pages, squeeze pages. Like there's so many terminologies, you know, for the capture page, where it's just like one page and somebody puts in their email address, their name and email address to get information. And so I kept seeing this style of page. It was just back then, and it still exists now, but it was a white page with like black words, and some of the words were highlighted in yellow, and there was a big box to put your email address. And I kept seeing this over and over, and I'm like, what? There's something going on with this page here. I don't think about it. There's something going on with this page here. This is back in 2007 again. I kept seeing this page over and over again. No matter where I clicked online, I just kept seeing this same style of page. And I was like, there's got to be something to this page. Like, why is everybody using this page? What's going on? And so I started digging a little deeper. You know, when that day that I got laid off, I went home, I celebrated. Where most people would be biting their fingernails off to the bone until it bleeds, I was like, woohoo! Because I had my unemployment check to live off of. I had my severance pay to live off of. And then at that time, I would consider myself blessed, because at that time it was when Obama extended unemployment to 2 years. So I was like, oh my God, thank you. So when my employment was supposed to end at 6 months, it kept going. And so it was just a blessed moment for me. And I just took full advantage of it. But when I got home and, you know, we celebrated, and I said, well, at that time I had a crappy computer. And so I went out and I bought a brand new computer, and I just started trying to figure out how to make money on the internet, because I definitely didn't want to do home parties, because I told you I've been doing this since 19, and I never had success with home parties. I never had success with three-way calls. I never had success doing you know, hotel meetings and making a list of 100 people. I was just so sick and tired after all those years of my family and friends just not wanting to know or do anything up with me anymore, right?
They're like, oh, here she comes with that product thing.
They were just so tired of me inviting them to my home parties, which, by the way, no one ever showed up to. And if they did, it was like 2 or 3 people who would never buy anything, right?
They were there for the food.
Yes, and it was just all those years of just frustration of trying to build a business, wasting money on gas and new outfits and stuff like that to get to events or to host my events. It was just a living nightmare, and I never had any success doing that. I knew that I needed to figure out how to leverage the power of the internet. And so then, you know, I found my first mentor on YouTube, and I said, okay, well, she was making money on YouTube, and I said, well, if she's making money on YouTube, just an average chick from Florida, I was in New York at the time, then, you know, if she just made money from me, that was when I had my aha moment. When I made a decision, I pulled up my credit card to you know, join her business on YouTube, right? I found her on YouTube. I said, wait a minute. What just happened here? I just joined her business. I'm in New York, she's in Florida. This is magical to me, right? So I was like, well, if she's doing videos, I'm going to start doing videos. And so that's where I started. I started doing video marketing. I was doing YouTube marketing. Then Twitter, MySpace was around, so I started having success with MySpace and trying to figure out how to work that. Then Twitter came along, and I was like, oh my God, Twitter, so let me go and play around with that, had success with that. And that was actually right before Twitter came out. MLSP came out in 2008.
Nice.
And when I was playing around in MySpace, my first sponsor for MLSP contacted me through MySpace to show me MLSP. And so when I saw it, I instantly got it. I was like, oh my God, this is what I need. And so I instantly signed up. Then Twitter came out, and I just crushed it. I remember 1 month in Twitter, I had like almost 50 new members from Twitter. Wow. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be rich. Oh my God, I cracked the code, right?
One of the secret sauce. Yeah, all of it.
Yes, and it was so Twitter at that time was like a super gold mine, and I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. All I have to do is put like a few words and a link, and like people will come and they'll, get on my autoresponder, and the emails will do like, this is magical.
Yeah.
And so, so in 2000, that was in 2008, and then, not that I got bored or anything from MLSP. I just felt like I just needed to move on at that time and just explore new things, different things. I wanted to get back into MLM. I was trying to find an MLM. I found an MLM, so I started focusing on that. I became diamond in that company, just basically focusing.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key. What a lot of people don't do is they don't focus. They get distracted easily. And as a few years went by, what are we talking about? We're in 2015, so this was like in 2009 I left. So between that time until now, I've just been, I'm in my MLM now a little over 2 years. Top 200 income earner, 6-figure income. For the past almost year, I've been using Instagram to have success with my MLM. But what I realized, and the reason why I came over to MLSP, is because many people are still struggling. Because what my company shares is a lot of strategy, and strategies are awesome. Mindset is awesome, but what they didn't get initially is the strategies. People want to know how to do something, and so I was looking at MLSP again. Right, for the second time, because I was looking for a front-end system to funnel people in through, so that I could, because listen, let's face it, MLSP targets network marketers, right? And when we think about it, 97% of network marketers are struggling in their network marketing business. So what does that mean for us? It means huge open waters, right? And so I started looking, I was looking at MLSP on the back end, just looking at, YouTube videos. I found my sponsor, Cesar Rodriguez. He did an awesome presentation of what MLSP was about. And I was like, wow, like all these changes, I'm in. And that was what, April 4th, you said? When did I sign up? April 4th?
April 5th.
April 5th. And I made that decision, and bam,
nice.
Crushed it first 30 days. I don't know. I got my cup today.
I know. I saw your picture on Facebook, and I was like, yay, she has it for her interview. I was so excited.
Yes. I switched out all of my links, because I told you my main baby is Instagram. That's where I get all my mostly all my leads from. I get it from blogging. I get it from YouTube. I get it from Facebook. But the bulk of it comes from Instagram. And so I just went to my Instagram accounts and just changed out my links to my MLSP funnel. Yeah. And here we are. I started connecting with a whole bunch of people that I knew on Facebook. And that's the great thing about social networking. See, they call it social networks for a reason. Okay? You are there to network with people. So start talking to people. People are on Facebook chatting all the time. Just start chatting with the people. And so that's what I just started doing, and just trying to find out what their struggles are and how I can help them with their business. And so the results, the proof is in the pudding that it works.
Yeah. Well, and I know you said, you have success with your MLM, but moving back into MLSP, because one, there's a ton more new tools, and aside from that, it's difficult, right? It's hard to be the person that your entire organization is looking to for the answer, and they're like, well, how do I do this marketing, that marketing, da, 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 da. So unless you want to be the expert all the time in all the new marketing strategies, and that's where you focus your time, always learning something to turn around and teach, you can leverage what other people and the other leaders inside of MLSP are doing, because it's not competition there. It's generic. It's training for anyone. It's a safe, happy place for people to come. So I think that's amazing. And you said a couple of really key things when you were telling your story, that I know really or the biggest reason that you're the success that you are, and that life gave you lemons and you made lemonade. Looked at me, I mean, not everybody could have taken the initiative in that moment and really just turn that whole thing and just shifted the perspective to allow that event to create this amazing potential and possibility in your life. And not only that, I mean, because so now those of you that are like, well, she got a check, so it wasn't that, no. The woman took limited amount of income and then went out and made an investment for a brand new computer. I don't know if those of you have been in a limited income situation where you've got kids to raise and you got mortgages to pay or whatever, but that was a leap of faith. In the middle of this, uncertain situation where you had just made a decision to get it done. And I just love that. I think that's such a powerful testament to the type of person that you are. And again, makes me that much more excited that I know that you'll be within our MLSP community training and giving back that kind of passion and mindset to the people who are here, because without it, it doesn't work. And being that you are successful in the industry and you were here before and you're back now, guys, if you're listening to this, we've had over 100,000 members come through our door. If someone as amazing as this woman sees the value and she's growing and scaling her business using our tools, right, that can be yours because now they're hers again and they're her whole team's again, then that's an opportunity for you to wake up and pay attention and see what's going on here, because in life, opportunities are a lot about timing, right? So tell us more about, I want to hear just more of your perspective on how do you get to be someone who, like, the day that you saw MLSP, you're like, you got it instantly and you just took action, right? Like, you see a thing and you just go for it. How do you believe being able to pass that, because you can't really pass it, right? You can't force it on someone. What kind of advice do you have for people just to get in that moment?
Well, when I started online, remember the story I was telling you that I was sitting at my cubicle and I was poking around online and I kept seeing this page and I didn't know what it was called, and it was actually called a capture page, a squeeze page. Squeeze page was the popular term back then.
Right.
But when I first saw that MLSP, first of all, when I started online, I was creating my own capture pages from scratch. They didn't have any tools, at least none of the tools I found, right? I had to literally figure out how to create this stuff from scratch, okay? I had to figure out different strategies and what's working and just test different things. And the first time I looked at MLSP, when the guy on MySpace showed it to me, it was a dream come true, because I know how difficult it is to create your own capture pages. And the fact that MLSP has them already built, you don't have to worry about hosting, you don't have to worry about HTML coding, you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. The fact that you have 4, 5, 6, I don't even know if we have 7-figure earners inside of MLSP, but the fact that we have these high caliber people teaching you their secrets, it's like, okay, I want to talk to the MLM leaders or the people that call themselves leaders and they have like big teams or small teams, or maybe they're just getting started as a leader. Maybe they just have 1, 2, 3, 5 people, 10 people, whatever. The bottom line is this: you need to learn how to market, period. Because at some point, you're going to get burned out from doing the home parties like I did. At some point, you're going to run out of the 100 people list, okay? At some point, you are going to, you're just going to be tired of doing 3-way calls with your upline. And, I know someone right now who is who just got back into MLM, and this person is traveling all over the place, leaving her children behind. At some point, she's having fun now, but I can guarantee you that at some point, she's going to get burned out again. Leaving, I mean, it just makes so much sense to sponsor people and leverage tools online, right? Versus going to do the offline stuff. Now again, if you are an offline belly-to-belly person and that's your thing, more power to you. For me, and most of the people I've spoken to, you know, throughout the years, they don't want to do that stuff. Yeah. So from experience, if you have more people not wanting to do that stuff and you're doing that stuff, where does that leave you? That leaves you with a bunch of people who don't want to do that stuff, right? So then where do you turn to? What do you do now? Well, now you have a whole bunch of people who don't want to do that stuff. They want to learn how to build a business online and create freedom, leveraging tools and systems and trainings for their teams. And so you plug them into the system, boom, you don't have to do any of the training. It's already there. Mm-hmm. I see so many people trying to create team sites and, you know, they're spending thousands of dollars creating team sites. What are you teaching? What are you teaching them? How not to be successful? Here you have proven results. You have proven results of people who have gotten results, created phenomenal lifestyles, not only in just MLSP, but in their own primary business because of the training that they had inside of this community. You know, I see MLSP kind of like, I like to use the Apollo slogan. It's like where leaders are born and legends are made. That's what MLSP is to me. Okay.
Well, and it's true. I mean, like if you look at the businesses and the massive brands in both, you know, MLM and network marketing in general, and then just business as a total that have come through the doors and really use the training here as a springboard to get them their start. I mean, it is pretty phenomenal. I mean, if we actually looked at all those people and the hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars they've generated, we may even be in the billion mark. I don't know if we were to add up all that success. You know, we can't take credit for all of it. Obviously, they're out there working their butts off. But it is interesting, and I love the point that you made. Even if you're an MLM leader or you're someone who's you're diehard, I'm going to go to meetings and I'm going to fly around the country, or maybe you completely love that. Maybe that's your thing, but you are alienating people, like 85, 90% of the people out there who might be interested in your business but don't want to do it or can't do it that way. Now, I know when I was like 20 or whatever, I did MLM for like 3 or 4 years, and I went out there and did that. But I mean, you get to a point where you're like, I've got 3 kids. You can't take them to the mall with you. You can't just, what are you going to do? Right? You're like, come on, children. I'm going to like breastfeed while I'm trying to go have like a bazaar at the nutritional festival or whatever. Anyway, that's probably inappropriate. But really, that's the reality of being a mom, right? Trying to do what you're doing. So it is not duplicatable.
You're preaching the dream but living a nightmare is what you're doing.
There you go, exactly. And that's not duplicatable. And neither is investing thousands of dollars building a team site for training that's probably really not very top-notch because it's stuff you're probably not doing anyway. You know, so it's just a great solution, right? So it's like, here's a solution, be able to point it at people and then build whatever business you want, which of course, as you state, I mean, it's something you obviously can build your MLM with this and you can create that business. But then the people that say no to your MLM, you have income. You're going to make income anyway from the time that you spent talking to them. So to me, it's a complete win-win and a no-brainer. So yeah, so I love it.
I want to point something out with that one too, and I'm glad that you brought that up. Think about this for a second, guys. Right? You're out there, you're chatting with people offline, online, wherever you're talking to them, and you're trying to get them to join your business, right? But then they come back to you and say, oh, I'm already in a business. I'm already with so-and-so company. Well, how would you like to invite them to our community and make money from the people that are already in a network marketing business?
It's only millions.
And you look like the hero, right? Yeah. And you look like the hero, right? Think about this for a second. Just visualize this. You look like the hero to someone who was struggling in their network marketing business who said no to joining yours, right? But then think about this. Let's say now they're in MLS, you're in MLSP, they're in MLSP, and you're their sponsor. You showed them the light at the end of the tunnel, right? You have plugged them into a community that has phenomenal training that's going to help them build their business. But let's just use this scenario really quickly. What if, right? What if their company goes out of business? What if they realize that, oh my God, you know, Lisa's helping me so much. My sponsor isn't doing jack diddly squat for me. I'm going to join her in her business.
Yeah.
Right? So these are the kind of the things that you have to think about when you're going out there. And the reasons why you want to be a part of MLSP if you're not a part of MLSP, and the reason why you should get excited that you are a part of MLSP right now if you're watching this.
I love it. I love the passion, man. It's so exciting. And it's, you know, you're just one of those ladies, you get it. And you're out there spreading it in the best way possible, because if we're not out there marketing, right, because you need to learn how to market to spread your message, then nobody knows that it's even like here to really be that solution. It's like you said, when you found it, you were like, it was the answer to so many problems that you were having. Mm-hmm. And it always cracks me up that people, and I guess I really just don't understand. I mean, as efficient as this system and these tools are, I know how much they can help people. So I never really understand why people seem to be resistant to sharing it. And so it always kind of kills me when someone new comes along, and that's sort of a, you know, point it just kind of blocks them from achieving the success that they really deserve, because they just can't seem to get over that. So you have a wealth of knowledge and information and experience. So I would love to know, if someone was brand new today, joining you in My Lead System Pro or deciding to work with you in your MLM, what would be like the main thing that you would want to tell them as a newbie to say, look, this is, you know, this is my piece of advice for you?
You mean as far as strategy or like getting started?
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe mindset. I kind of like your whole thing about, right, like just get to it, or I don't know, anything you want to, you can share a couple things if you want.
Okay, well, first, like, I'll tell you what I do with my current people. With my current people that I'm bringing in now, the first thing that they have to do before they even do anything, like, I don't even want them coming to me asking me any questions until they have gone through the START trainings, okay, the START tab, and going through all those trainings and completing it until it hits 100%. The bar is at 100%. If you're inside, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not inside, we have a getting started training that you have to go through, and on the screen you will see that you know, you're 60% done, you're 80% done. Get to 100% or don't come to me for help, right? So that's my number one rule. If you can't go through at least that, I don't want to work with you. Like, don't ask me questions if you can't get through that. The second thing is that I try to figure out, what are they good at, right? What do they like to do? Because I could sit here and say, oh, go shoot a video and go start doing YouTube videos. But what if the person sucks on video? What if the person doesn't even like to do videos? Well, that's not going to help them any at all. And so I try to figure out what they're good at, and then I just use my index finger and I point them to whatever training is in the back office. You know, so if they don't like blogging, if they don't like doing videos, if they don't like, you know, if they don't have a budget, you know, whatever, I'll just try to figure out what they're good at and go find something in there and tell them, go master that, and don't come back to me until you start getting some leads.
Well,
because, yeah. No, I was going to say, because the trainings that are in there are already proven. So you cannot come back to me and say, oh, it's not working. Really?
Yeah.
I find that hard to believe.
Yeah. Well, right. Well, and then it's like, okay, let's talk about your mindset a little bit, right? It might not be working for you. So what do you need to be different? You need to change a little bit for it to work for you. Right. But I love what you said there. I mean, and, you know, guys, if you're listening to this and you hear what Lisa said, and you're like, oh, well, she's not helping her people. I think some people who don't know better think that, but I'll tell you what, she's doing her people a service. Right. She's teaching them how they need to teach their people. Because if you're hand-holding and you're trying to tell people everything, all about everything that they could have Googled or gone right in their back office and found themselves, then you're not doing them a service. You think you're helping them, but you're really setting them up for failure. So right. I love, I love that about your leadership style, you know, and how you're training your people to train their people. And at the end of the day, if we're not growing leaders, we're not growing legends.
I'm also training them to be responsible and to realize that this is their business. The same way that I went through the training and completed the, you know, I went through until it was 100% complete. You have to do the same thing. You have to, because if you don't, you're just going to come back to me asking me questions that was already covered in the Getting Started training videos. So it's like,
Okay.
don't come to me, and I even have them take a screenshot to prove to me that they've completed it. Because usually they'll come to me asking me questions that was already addressed. And that's how I know when they ask me the questions that they never went through the training in the first place. So yeah. I just push them back to the training and say, come back to me when you're done, or don't ask me any questions. And I don't want to be mean about it. I don't mean to be mean about it, but that's just, like, that's my #1 rule with my teammates. It's like, I had to go through that. You have to go through that too. There is no other way around it. Because all you're going to do is come and stress me out about why, about why you're not trying to figure out something when it was already covered in the videos. Go watch it. If you didn't get it, go watch it again until you do get it.
Well, I mean, it's just part of the process, But like I said, I've definitely, people have different leadership styles, and some people try to handhold and, oh, come on. I don't think it doesn't work. At the end of the day, you're teaching them to be dependent, like you said. It's the opposite of taking ownership of your business and stepping into that entrepreneurship mindset that you have to have if you actually want to get this thing done. So
we have a business, not a babysitting service.
Well, exactly, and it's nice, right? Because you can point to the things that they need, and all that stuff's already set up for you without you having to do some crazy thing like some crazy team site and then keep it up and hope that it works. And yeah, so it's just a whole other headache that we don't have to get into.
This is my team site.
What's that?
I said this is my team site.
Exactly. Well, and guys, for those of you that don't know, especially if you're an MLM now and you're looking for a way to leverage something to help you kind of get to the next level and scale, in the back office, there's actually a custom training section that you can segment out based on what you want to see, certain membership levels, and if they hit leadership levels, you can segment out your content. So essentially, you have a private team site. And if you want your people to have the same tools that you use, and it be duplicatable, it only makes sense to use what's there. So anyway, I know we could go on all day because we're both super pumped about what we have our hands on, and just thank you for your time today and the value and the content that you've given. Please tell everyone who's watching either this live recording or in the back office or on YouTube or via the email that we sent out, because we're going to blast this everywhere because we know how much people want this awesome information. How can people reach out and find you on the internet, Miss Torres?
I guess they can find me on Facebook, Lisa Torres Allen on Facebook. They could visit my blog, LisaTorresTalks.com. Yeah, those are like my 2 places where I hang out, my blog and Facebook.
Cool beans. So Lisa Torres Talks, and that's LISATERRES Talks.
LISATORRESTALKS.com.
All right, perfect, awesome. Now you heard it from the source. Don't leave me to spell it if I'm not looking at it. I'm like, after 3 kids at this time of day, my brain doesn't want to work. That's awesome. Well, lady, thanks again. If you want any last words, please feel free. The floor is yours. This is your interview, and this is for people in our community to get to know you, to say hello to you. I know this is just the beginning and your reintroduction to all the awesome people that are busy and active, and I know we'll be seeing lots and lots more of you.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I want to say closing out this interview is that you guys have a phenomenal system, phenomenal products, system, tools, and training at the palm of your hand. Take advantage of that. And for the newbies out there that are just getting started and are probably overwhelmed with all the information and the training we have 7 years of training, 8 years or whatever, however long it's been. We have years of training, and yes, I know it could get overwhelming, but what you really need to do is just figure out what you're good at. Go in the back office, pick a strategy, and stick to that one thing. Pick one thing that you feel that you can go out and master, and then go crush it. And I'll see you guys on the leaderboards.
Yes, ma'am. See you then. See you later, guys.
Bye.